Good afternoon. Over the last few months, I've been reading the various letters that are found in this book, The New God Image, by Edward Edinger. And what Dr. Edinger has done in this book is he's written a commentary about 14 letters that Dr. Jung wrote during his career, in which he described the new God image. But this is one of the sadder letters that exists, and it's written to an anonymous woman in Switzerland in 1956. And she had written saying that she was the mother of an imbecile child. Apparently was trying to find ways to think about her situation. And so this is a very short letter, but I thought I would share it with you. Dear Frau N, 28 June 1956. It is hard to accept the fate you have described. Quite apart from the moral achievement required, complete acceptance depends very much on the conception you have of fate. An exclusively causal view is permissible only in the realm of physical or inorganic processes. The teleological view is more important in the biological sphere and also in psychology, where the answer makes sense only if it explains the why of it. So it is pointless to cling on to the causes, since they cannot be altered anyway. It is more rewarding to know what is to be done with the consequences and the kind of attitude one has or should have to them. Then the question at once arises, does the event have a meaning? Did a hidden purpose of fate or God's will have a hand in it, or was it nothing but chance or mishap? If it was God's purpose to try us, why then must an innocent child suffer? This question touches on a problem that is clearly answered in the book of Job. Yahweh's amorality, or notorious injustice, changes only with the incarnation in the exclusive goodness of God. This transformation is connected with his becoming man, and therefore exists only if it is made real through the conscious fulfillment of God's will in man. If this realization does not occur, not only the Creator's amorality is revealed, but also his unconsciousness. With no human consciousness to reflect themselves in, good and evil simply happen, or rather, there is no good and evil, but only a sequence of neutral events, or what the Buddhists call the Nidhana chain, the uninterrupted causal concatenation leading to suffering, old age, sickness, and death. Buddha's insight and the incarnation in Christ break the chain through the intervention of the enlightened human consciousness, which thereby acquires a metaphysical and cosmic significance. In the light of this realization, the mishap changes into a happening which, if taken to heart, allows us to glimpse deeply into the cruel and pitiless imperfections of creation, and also into the mystery of the incarnation. The happening then turns into that felix culpa, that happy fault, which Adam brought on himself by his disobedience. Suffering, Meister Eckhart says, is the swiftest steed that bears you to perfection. The boon to increased self-awareness is the sufficient answer even to life's suffering. Otherwise it would be meaningless and unendurable. Though the suffering of the creation which God left imperfect cannot be done away with by the revelation of the good God's will to man, yet it can be mitigated and made meaningful. Yours sincerely, C.G. Jung. So what Dr. Jung is saying here is that we have to meditate on the issue of meaning no matter what happens to us. And when we have suffering, we can look on it as, what are we being told about our place in the universe? Currently famous physicist Michio Kaku says that every atom in the universe is connected to every other atom in the universe, which is undoubtedly true. And if that is true, then there is meaning in all the connection in the universe. And this story is a rather sad one, of course, but the Buddha had a story similar to this, a teaching, where one time a woman came to the Buddha and she had her dead baby in her arms. And she said to the Buddha, "Please bring my baby back to life." And the Buddha said, "I will do that if you will bring me a mustard seed from the house in the community that has seen no death." And so obviously that is impossible, and we have to find ways of working with the reality of life and death, and life and injustice. I'm sure this young woman whose child was born as a, quote, imbecile, unquote, felt terrific injustice from the event.